Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of Nerds. And today we are going to be reviewing Streets of Steel, Kickin' Asphalt, and Russian Scare. So these are two games that were created by Ryan Lesser and Matt Moore, and it was published by Wild Power Games. There are 1 to 4 players, about 30 to 60 minutes playtime, and ages 14 and up.
So these are cooperative action point fighting games with variable player powers and lots of dice rolling. That sounds like a lot, but this really is. It's a dice chucker, very, very lightweight. All right. So I will start with Average Joe. I will move. Fight. Are we doing audio for this?
I don't know. 2 fists and 2 kicks.
Boom, boom, boom. He dies. Horrible death.
And
you get energy.
An energy.
And then I will move again. Okay, baddies go. Kill Guru, don't have any of those. Punks.
Attack nearest hero in this punk row with 1.
Attack nearest. Oh, they're throwing the knives. Alright, so he will throw a knife at Average Joe. 1 red. I will spend a token to reroll that. 0. And then red or blue or green. So this punk is throwing a knife at your green.
Nothing.
Nothing. Alright, now we will go
Your other dude.
Mayor Van Damage. So I will move 1, 2. I will move 1, and then I will fight. 4 yellows. 2 damage, what's he? He's 2. So he will die. He will get an energy. And baddies, Kilgaroo, Firebug. Each Firebug rolls 2 red against each figure in their space. This is not re-rollable. Includes
The Firebug.
This is not re-rollable. Includes the Firebug. What does that mean?
So there's each Firebug rolls 2 against each figure in their space. This is not rerollable. This includes the Firebug. So I guess.
Oh, so they fire themselves
on accident.
Well, they're
fumble. See, it says fumble.
So they're just gonna roll against themselves.
Because we're not in their space.
Right. So we'll go this one first.
Okay. Activate him.
1. So she's fine. We'll go this one.
2.
2. She's fine. This one. 1. She's fine. This one. 0.
Okay, so I'll move them all back.
Alright. They all drop Molotovs on themselves but didn't explode.
Okay, so she is able to move 2. 1.
She moved with 3.
2.
She got rollerblades.
Yeah, sorry. 3. Then she will attack him with 3 punch and 1 kick.
2. So he is dead. You get energy.
Okay, so that was 2 actions, and then I will move again. Okay, so then now it's the baddie's turn.
Mm-hmm. No Kilgaroos.
No Kilgaroos, but it doesn't.
But yeah.
Okay, so then she is going to go. She gets to move 2, 1, 2, and stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 and 2. And then she can deal 1 and 1 to each baddie on this street tile, but I don't have enough. Deal 1 kick to a baddie. If successful, she may move them 1 space. So I can kick them back if I want to, or I can taunt. I will taunt.
Okay. And we'll go baddie. Firebug. Add 1 firebug to
The center row of the rightmost column.
center row, rightmost column. Alright, so that is it. So those 2 F off. Was that here? Now we gotta kill the ribs. So we break all of our games into 3 categories, and the first one is components / art. You know, I'm a big components guy. These boards are really solid. The dice are all nice quality.
The artwork on them is really good. It's very reminiscent of the, I guess, the classic 80s games that we're used to seeing. So
Right.
It's good, solid art.
So just give you a rundown. We are going to have gameplay footage of this. I'm not sure if we'll do an entire separate video because we recorded the entire thing from our new overhead cam.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Or if we'll kind of just cut some in. We'll have to see how the footage is. But just to show you some of these characters we're talking about. So this is Average Joe. Berserker Joe. So this was, he came from a parallel universe.
So it's Average Joe from Parallel Universe.
Right. Square Peg.
She's a smart one.
Yeah, she's the smart one. Dumb Ape. He is also the smart one. My favorite name, Mayor Van Damage. Then just, if you're going to make a movie or game in the 80s, you have to have the punks.
Yep, they're the bad guys. The baddies.
Kilgaroo. They taught kangaroos ninjutsu. And this was our favorite boss, Boss Muty. He reminds me a lot of, what was that movie? RoboCop. Where the guy gets all that acid on him and he starts like mutating and stuff and melting. So he kind of looks like to me. Yeah, so when you roll, basically each character, and I'll kind of show you, has a certain number of dice they roll. So Average Joe rolls 2 fists and 2 kicks. And basically the fists are 4 out of 6 chance at 1 hit. The kicks will have some 2 hits, but then maybe some more misses.
Like a double kick.
Right, the reds are kind of all over the place. And one character in particular, Dumb Ape, uses 4 red dice every attack. This game came with 2 red dice.
That's it.
That is so infuriating. Give me 4 dice. Really? I need 2 more dice.
Which, you know, we have both games. So there are 2 in each game. So we were able to combine
Right.
2 from each game to get the 4 that we needed. However, if someone were to have bought just the Russian Scare,
Right.
then you would not have enough red dice. You would have to roll the 2 red dice once and then roll the 2 red dice again.
Right, but this game also has
Reroll abilities.
right. You get this energy and you can spend it to re-roll dice or do superpowers, and it's like, so it's kind of nice to just pick up one of the dice and re-roll it as opposed to, okay, well I know I just rolled 2 hits, but I'm going to re-roll a roll from the previous roll.
Keeping track of that.
Right. If you had a couple beers in you, you're gonna lose that one. The Kickstarter had minis. We got the retail version. This is before we were really messing around on Kickstarter.
Yeah, so we got the retail version.
Right.
And
So they came with standees. So here's some wolves.
which they're still cool, but it'd be a lot cooler to get
Square
the
peg.
minis.
Yeah. I love minis. I really want Mary to start painting some. I think she would get a really big kick out of that. Here's I think it's Commando or something. It's like a cyborg chick, Russian. Super cool. Next category is story/theme.
So, from playing this the first time through, and then we played this a couple more times, it does feel like a side scroller. So it feels like you're there playing the Nintendo or the Sega, and you're moving to the right, side scrolling to the right, defeating baddies, and then eventually you get to the final boss, and then it stops scrolling, and you fight the final boss just like you would in a regular side scroller. So it really has that feel to it, and it's a beat 'em up.
Right.
Just like the side scrollers are that you play.
Yeah. Now, the one thing about this that the video game side of our channel will notice is that screen doesn't stop moving. So it's sort of like the Mario Air levels, where that screen is just constantly going. You have to stay ahead of it or you die. Now, a typical side scroller, you beat all the guys on the screen, and then the arrow will point where you need to go, and then you walk over. New set of baddies. So that is one small thing, but I think they really wanted that feel where like the board will constantly be, that leftmost panel will constantly be dropping off, and so they kind of wanted that video game feel, but that's not typically found in beat 'em up. But this game feels like, Streets of Rage, which is kicking asphalt, and Russian Attack, which is Russian Scare. It feels like those games. If you ever wanted to play the board game version of Streets of Rage, here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you get weapons, you get health power-ups, you got special moves, some of the villains are tougher than others. It just has that feel. There's hazards and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to worry about the hazards. You can pick up items.
There is a small little story. We talked about Average Joe and Berserker Joe. It's not applicable to the gameplay though. If you never read that booklet, it wouldn't affect your time. You don't unlock anything or find out any more about the story. So the next category is gameplay.
So the nice thing about these is the games are compatible with each other. So honestly, you can mix.
Right.
You can mix components and characters if you want to, and of course, like we did with being short on the 2 red die, we used the 2 red die from the other one.
Right.
So that they can easily be played together, which is very nice.
Right. You could play with both Joes and be okay.
Well, he is from a parallel universe, so they can coexist.
Right. So it's kind of like Spider-Verse, but it's Joe-verse.
Yeah.
One thing to note about that is, so there's levels of baddies, right? So there are level 1, level 2, level 3, and then the boss. So you can use a level 1 from either game, but you can't use both level 1s.
Yeah.
So you can mix and match them like that, but you only have one boss.
Which again also adds to the feel of a side scroller. You get some of those characters that are going to be more difficult to fight, and some of the characters that are going to be easier to fight. Just one kick and they're down. And then also, what's really cool that kind of reminds me of more like a video game feel to it is that if your character dies, you can revive your character by paying a quarter.
That's correct. So how this game gets tougher is the easiest mode, you get 5 quarters to start. Each time a character dies, you spend a quarter to get your guy back. I guess if you're out of quarters, you just don't get to revive one. So 2-player game, we each play as 2 characters. So, I guess if we used all 5 of our quarters and then another guy died, we could just do it with 3 characters.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really impact the game at all.
A 1-player game uses 3 characters.
Yeah, 3-player game
of course,
uses
3 characters.
Right.
So.
I blanked on what I was going to say. So the other nice thing about the mink battle with each other is there are small differences in the number of dice and abilities. So you can find a character that you really enjoy. Like me personally, I really enjoy Mayor Van Damage. I think that's a really cool name. He's got a cigar. He's got the great big guns. I really like his specials. So I could take him. I assume they're going to make more of these into the future, and so continue to unlock bosses, and then hopefully they'll find a way to kind of link them into one giant street where you just keep going.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that anyways. After you defeat the boss, just keep going.
Yeah. Using the same characters and then using the next set of tiles from the next game and defeat the next boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's a way that we can make it more challenging.
Right, yeah. So, one thing, some of this is a little nitpicky. The rule book could use a little polishing. I don't like to tell people how to write, but there were a couple of questions we had that just weren't in the rule book. So, like,
it was unclear.
These super moves you get to do, like everyone on your row or everyone in your column you get to attack. So for each villain, do you re-roll the dice, or is it just one dice for all of them? That's never explained in the rule book, at least not that we saw. And the other nitpick is this game is pretty easy. We played with 5 quarters all 3 times.
We never used all 5 quarters.
We never used all 5 quarters.
The most we used was 2.
It was
which,
2.
2 is the most challenging 3 quarters?
Yeah, the most challenging version of this game is 3 quarters, so if we only used 2 quarters, we still would have been fine.
Yeah.
And that's never played it. It's a dice chucker, and you get an ability to re-roll dice, which, you can manipulate that. I think we used manipulating dice rolls more than the special abilities throughout all the plays.
But you do lose energy every time that you
right,
roll it.
but it does help the easiness of the game. And then the villains also die once that leftmost tile goes away. So if a villain's on that left, you can kind of just gamble and say, I think they're going to fall off and die, so I'll just leave them alone and never have to fight them.
And I would say the gameplay is very straightforward, and hence also why it's so easy. Of course, it's just a dice checker. But I would say anybody could learn this. So it's a nice game for even younger kids. I know they say for ages 14 and up, but I think even like younger kids than that could probably learn how to play this very easily. We picked it up very quickly, and were able to, of course, beat it all 3 times that we played it without and technically playing it on the highest level.
Right. Yeah, so, if your, son or daughter really likes the old school Sega or Super Nintendo beat 'em ups, and you kind of want to get into something a little more tangible, or the power goes out and you got a couple candles laying around, I would recommend this.
Yeah.
So we put all of our games into one of 3 categories. Play means it hits the table as often as possible. Display means you break it out when the urge strikes, and stay away means you leave it at the store for someone else to get. And for us, this game is a display. It was really, really close to play. We talked about it. Mary was on the play, I was on the display, and I think the one thing that kept it out of the play category for us was its difficulty.
It's too easy.
we, we beat it up bad. And that doesn't really lure me to play it again. You know, if I'm in the mood, if we just went through and, played Streets of Rage 2 on the Sega Genesis and kind of in that mood, like, hey, let's get that game out. Or, we'll keep our eyes open for any new expansions or any new versions.
It's tough. It's tough because there are games that end up on the display or the stay away because they're too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's games like this that are too easy. You have to find this nice middle ground where it challenges you without just letting you win.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And this was just a little too letting us win. I mean, we play a lot of cooperative games and we get our butts handed to us. We're not exceptionally great at them. And this one, I mean, we just walked through it.
Yep.
But
it was still fun.
I think
it was
one
still
game,
reminiscent of it.
Yeah. If you have nostalgia for the 16-bit era, this is great. And we do. We love the 16-bit era. We play it all the time. Or whenever we get time. Well, let us know in the comments section if you've tried this, what you think about it, or if it sounds interesting. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Pumpkin. When was the last time you walked to the right and beat everybody up?
I can't turn right. Kind of like how Zoolander can't turn left. I can't turn right.
You think she's joking, Internet? But I've been in the car with her.
I can't turn right.
Ask Retro Mikey and Retro April. They can vouch for that.
I just can't turn right. I don't know why.
We only need a wheel alignment on one side of the car.
At least I
Oh,
can
labels out. Blue Moon. Hit me up. Ready?
Mm-hmm.